Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on Pulse with me, Rick Wampofo. After 21 races and a maximum of 555 points available, Formula One arrives at Abu Dhabi's Yas Marina circuit for the final race of an epic season, with Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen locked on the same number of points, the first time that has happened to two title protagonists in 47 years. We have ourselves a one-race shootout to decide one of the most feisty contested championships in Formula One history. So who becomes overall Formula One champion for 2021, Hamilton or Verstappen? Joining me in studio is Kojo Opon, who's the General Secretary of Motorsports Federation of Ghana. And on Zoom as well, we have Kwabena Poku, the conveyor of Motorsports Viewing Party. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Let me start with you, Kojo. What should we expect in Abu Dhabi this weekend?
Fireworks. That's pretty much what I'm going to say, fireworks. I mean, the Formula One season hasn't been exciting like this in a very long time. So we're going to have, one of the most competitive and exciting season finales, in Yas Marina on Sunday. So we have Hamilton and Verstappen heading into the finale on equal points. The last time it happened, like you said, was like 1974 when Fittipaldi won it. So obviously, this is something we're probably looking forward to. So we are hoping, with all the controversy that has been coming up like throughout the whole season, in terms of engine changes, the cars, the sanctions, the point deduction, everything. So we are hoping this season we're going to have something everyone is looking forward to.
Let me come to you, Kwabena. And before I ask you who you think would be winning, what kind of race do you think we should expect this weekend? Kwabena, I think you have to unmute first.
It's going to be an exciting race this Sunday. These two have been at it all season. They've crashed into each other several times. Both of them were out of a particular race at a point in time. It took some cool heads for Lewis to get his winning streak back. And the pressure is on. I mean, look, both drivers are feeling the pressure to the extent that they've been warned by the FIA and the race director that, look, any shenanigans will mean some hefty penalties or as far as disqualification from the race. So, I mean, we're expecting some exciting race this Sunday. It's going to be massive,
Kojo, who's your money on between Hamilton and Verstappen?
Well, I'm actually rooting for Hamilton. Based on experience, based on, being able to have the calm of the two heads, like when it comes to him and Verstappen. So my money is on Hamilton, yeah.
And Kwabena, who is your money on this weekend?
Look, everybody knows that I'm a Mercedes fan. I'm a Hamilton fan. But, at the end of the day, this race is very difficult to call. Verstappen has done some marvelous driving this season, except he still lacks a bit of experience and a cool head. And going into this race, he's rather feeling the pressure. People are still thinking that, this can be a walk in the park for Lewis at the end of the day. But Verstappen needs to keep a cool head going into the race and give Lewis a run for his own money. Lewis needs to, at the end of the day, history awaits us this weekend. Lewis may just break Schumacher's record, which is already equal at 7 champions each. He can get the 8th championship, and Verstappen, this is going to be the first time. So history does await us this weekend, and it will take a cool head and experience to win this particular one. Everybody, I would say the majority may say Lewis may win this one. I mean, Lewis, he may just win this one easy. But then again, if Max comes into this race with a cool head and a good driving, he knows the Mercedes are very fast on the straights. He can get them in the curves, So he needs that cool head and a good run for Lewis on his own experience tracks. So my money may be on Lewis, but it's going to be exciting and a difficult one to call.
Do you think that Verstappen perhaps winning in Abu Dhabi last year could have played a role in terms of the psychological stance of both races coming into this one, Kwabena?
See, I don't run Lewis off that easy. We were all at some point in this season writing Lewis off. And then he came back very strong in that 3 or 4 stretch races from the US, Mexico, right down to Brazil. So I'm not going to do that. But Verstappen, at the end of the day, is feeling much more of the pressure than Lewis, right? Lewis is going into the race like, just any other day, I'm coming in. He knows he has a very good car. all he needs to do is keep the car on the track and make sure he doesn't run into anybody. Make sure he doesn't have any sort of DNF. But then it will all also depend on tomorrow's qualification, where everybody will stand. You know, are we going to get a pole start? You know, at the end of the day, if they both don't finish the race, Verstappen wins based on head-to-head with Lewis, right? Even though they have the same points going into the race, Verstappen has won more races this season than Lewis. But then again, he suffered a lot of DNFs, which brought Lewis back into the fray. You know, so yeah, I mean, this is a difficult one to call. It's a very difficult one to call.
Let me come back to Studio Kojo and find out what your overall assessment of this year's championship is.
Well, you know, this year's championship has been one of the most exciting, like I said earlier. You know, we had 2 new circuits coming on. I mean, Zandvoort, obviously, like 2 decades ago, but now they brought it back. And then we had Jeddah circuit as well. So 2 new exciting, you know, that threw a lot of spanner in things. You didn't know what was going to expect, but at least it came through, made it more exciting. And then we had some new drivers coming on board. We had, you know, Tsunoda and all those people. So it's like a lot of uncertainty. In the beginning, Red Bull seemed like they had the upper hand. They took the lead in most of the race and everything. And then eventually, getting to the later part, Hamilton also, you know, got his mojo back and then started, you know, coming into the fray. So it's been unpredictable, I should say. So that's made it more exciting. And then we have this finale, you know, the finale we have right now, which everyone is looking forward to. So.
And finally, before we wrap up, can you tell us a bit about the Motor Federation in Ghana? Yeah,
so the Motorsports Federation is an association and we brought into play. We're actually going to do it bigger last year, but because of the lockdowns and everything, so we had to push it back a bit. We're trying to put together, you know, bring together all the motorsports segments, you know, so we have the car racing, the motor racing, the car clubs, you know, all the way to the off-roaders, even the motorsports, you know, like, so just get a general body, get it really registered and affiliated to FIA, and then we can be able to control, more or less, push all the various motorsports, you know, segments in Ghana to make it bigger.
All right, thank you very much, Kojo Opong, and also thank you to Kwabena Opoku, who joined us via Zoom to do a little bit of analysis ahead of the big race this weekend in Abu Dhabi with Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton both tied on points. Final race in Formula 1 2021. My name is Oriri Kuwampofu, and that's the sports for now.